Hi, this video is an in-depth comparison of the 2018 HP Omen 15 and Asus ROG Strix Scar II. You might be wondering which one is better choice, since both laptops are similar in terms of specs and features, but there are a few major differences between them that you should definitely know to make a wise choice. Today I will mention other configurations of these laptops because I found some RTX models at really good prices. As always, in the video description you can find Amazon links for US and UK residents to check the current price and the timestamps to skip to any part of this video. I'm Chris from TechFindsReview.com and now let's jump into the comparison. If it comes to design, I prefer the style of the Asus Scar II. It has no red accents and no fancy shapes at all. The top panel is metal with brushed aluminum texture and the ROG logo that you can light up with RGB colors. The rest of the body is made of polycarbonate that feels very solid. On the deck you can find carbon fiber pattern with more skin on one half. The Omen has plastic top panel with red logo, 4 red lines and carbon fiber pattern in combination with brushed aluminum finish. The deck is made of metal and it also has brushed metal texture, however at the bottom you will find the plastic again. Inside we have the opposite situation. I prefer the look of Omen because I think that it looks cleaner. The elegant touchpad with minimalist looking keyboard make Omen's interior look more toned. The Scar II has more gamer looking inside. If it comes to dimensions, the HP Omen is slightly smaller but the weight is about the same for both laptops. I think they both are pretty portable, so carrying any of them every day should not be a problem. Alright, let's take a look inside. The Scar II has a good looking and well functional keyboard with long 1.8mm key travel and good spacing. The lighting is divided into 4 zones, and what I like the most about that is that every key has the transparent stroke, so you can see more light coming out of the keyboard. The useful feature that it has is the overstroke technology, which registers the key press before you actually press the key all the way down. You have also 4 additional keys for volume, microphone and control center up. The keyboard in Omen looks cleaner and it's comfortable to use too, but it lacks features compared to Scar's keyboard. You have only 1 additional key for control center up. Nonetheless, it has good spacing, 1.5mm key travel, and 4 zones of RGB where the 4th zone includes only WSAD keys. There are also configurations of 2018 Omen with red keyboards only, so make sure that you buy the right one. If I have to compare the touchpads, I think that Omen is the winner. Despite the fact it's using Synaptics drivers, I find Omen's touchpad one of the best among gaming laptops touchpads that I've tested so far. It's very precise, it has smooth surface and 2 dedicated buttons that don't require much force to click. The touchpad in Scar is using Windows Precision drivers, so you can take advantage of the gesture controls. It has also 2 dedicated buttons, but somehow I liked Omen's touchpad more in general. If it comes to port selection, it's almost the same for both laptops. The only difference is that the Omen supports Thunderbolt 3, it has also separated headphone and mic jack, while the Scar has only 1 audio jack for headphones and mic and no Thunderbolt 3. The display in Omen is 1080p 144Hz IPS panel with about 9 ms response time and G-Sync support. It's fast enough for gaming and the G-Sync provides additional smoothness for better gaming experience. You can also buy Omen with 60Hz 1080p or 4K at 60Hz display. The Asus Scar II has only 1080p 144Hz IPS panel, but thanks to 3 ms response time it provides smoother gaming experience. However, the G-Sync is not available here. You have also 17-inch models of these laptops, but please note that the 17-inch Omen from 2018 has the same chassis as 2017 model and it's called HP Omen 17. If it comes to Asus, the 17-inch model is indicated by GL704 number. The color accuracy of 144Hz models is almost the same for both laptops. The Scar II can reproduce 97% of sRGB color gamut, 75% of Adobe RGB, and the brightness is 329 nits. For Omen, the sRGB color coverage is 96%, 74% for Adobe RGB, and the brightness is 329 nits too. However, I found that Scar's display has colder tones to the colors, while Omen's colors are a little bit warmer. In terms of sound, the Asus Scar II just crushes HP Omen 15 as well as it crushes other gaming laptops that I've tested. I have never seen before a laptop with such good bass presentation. Every shot and every explosion in game sounds full and punchy, mids and highs are just on point and it's loud enough. You can equalize the sound in Sonic Studio 3 software. Omen's speakers are not bad, but since this is a comparison I have to say that they don't sound as good as Scar's speakers. They have some bass and the sound is fairly loud without distortion on higher volumes. As I mentioned before, I'm gonna quickly show you available configurations and approximated prices of both laptops, but please note that the prices may vary with time. So in the video description I left Amazon links for US and UK residents to find the configuration that suits you best and check the current price. So if it comes to Omen, you can have it with GTX or RTX graphics cards, while for the GTX models you have wide range of configurations starting from GTX 1050 and ending with GTX 1070 Max-Q. There are also 3 display options that I mentioned before, but certain displays might not be available with selected GPU depending on the country. The GTX models of Omen were usually expensive in the US, however the price is not an issue anymore. The RTX models are even cheaper than GTX models and 144Hz display is a standard now. You can choose between RTX 2060 and RTX 2070 Max-Q. The RTX update also brought 240Hz display option to Omen laptops. If it comes to Scar II, there is only 144Hz display option available, and you can choose between full-size GTX 1060, 1070 and also RTX 2060 and 2070. It's a good time to get some GTX models now, since because of the RTX update the prices of GTX models dropped down. Nonetheless, the RTX models of Scar II show a good price to performance ratio compared to other gaming laptops. In some countries the Scar II might not be available with GTX 1060 and RTX 2070, but there is a MOBA version of this laptop called Hero 2. It's basically the same laptop, but instead of transparent WSAD keys, it has transparent QWER keys and different pattern instead of Moro on the deck. Alright, coming back to the review, let's talk about performance. As first, I would like to mention that features and build are the same for GTX and RTX models of both laptops. The only difference is GPU. Since the units that I've got here have different specs, I can't really compare them, but recently I tested the GTX 1060 model of Scar II, which matches the Omen in terms of specs. You can check out my gaming benchmark videos for both laptops with GTX 1060, but if you wonder how other configurations perform, I also tested the RTX 2070 Scar II that I'm reviewing now, and I'm going to get the RTX 2060 Omen very soon, so expect the benchmarks too. In each video you can see the results of 20 different games tested, so I think that this will clarify a lot of questions about performance. Links to the videos will be in the description. Now if you would like to upgrade Omen down the road, you have easy access to your RAM and hard drive. In most cases it comes with one 16GB RAM stick installed, so if you would like to add more RAM in the future, you have still one slot free. With Asus Scar II we have the same situation. It comes with single and dual channel RAM configurations too. If you buy it in the USA you will most likely get the single channel one, but my unit has dual channel since I bought it in the UK. With single channel RAM you have better way to upgrade the memory in the future, but it performs slower than the same amount of RAM in dual channel. So if you want to take full advantage of the performance of any of these laptops, I recommend you to add one more RAM stick. I made a quick guide where I am showing you how to disassemble and upgrade each laptop, so if you're planning to add more RAM, swap out your hard drive or SSD, you can check it out. Okay, so now let's talk about cooling system. I tested both laptops playing demanding games for a long period of time to simulate the way that you will probably use your laptop. Omen was tested on comfort mode and automatic fan profile since you can't control the fans. In Asus I set the turbo mode and max fan speed as I always do for my tests. In general, the Scar II has better cooling system than Omen, and it's actually one of the best among laptops that I've tested. There was no thermal and no power limit throttling during my test. The average temperature of the CPU was 82 degrees Celsius and the GPU temperature was 74 degrees. In Omen, power limit throttling didn't occur, but the thermal throttling took place. However, it was not happening often, and when it did, the frame rate drop in games was not huge. The average temperature of the CPU was 85 degrees Celsius, and the temperature of the GPU was 78 degrees. If you buy Omen, make sure that your BIOS is up to date and switch it from default to comfort mode. This will help you reduce the temperature and limit throttling. It also would be good to undervolt the CPU in Omen, while Scar doesn't need that at all. The fan noise is slightly louder in Omen, but it's still comfortably quiet. While gaming it gets loud as every gaming laptop, but the Scar is slightly louder under heavy load. However, on idle and silent mode enabled, it stays completely quiet. As for the battery life, I managed to use Asus for 4.5 up to 5 hours when browsing the web and doing light productivity work. When gaming, battery died after 1.5 hours. Omen achieved almost the same result, 4.5 hours for light work and 1.5 hours for gaming. Alright, it seems to be everything that you need to know to wisely choose one of these laptops, but before we finish, let me share my closing thoughts. So if it comes to the Scar II, I think that this laptop is for those who are looking for solid performance at low temperatures. It has great cooling system, which is one of the best among 15-inch laptops. The display in Scar is the fastest and smoothest 144Hz panel that I've seen so far. It has good color reproduction, remarkable speakers, and useful keyboard with additional keys. The advantage of Scar II is for sure a good price to performance and quality ratio. It's not the cheapest out there, but in my opinion it's worth the price since Asus made no compromises in terms of performance and overall quality of this laptop. Worth mentioning is that the prices of GTX models dropped down, so now it gives you even better bang for your buck. Trying to find the weak sides of this laptop, I have to point out no G-Sync support, no Thunderbolt 3 and awkward webcam placement. On the other hand, we have the HP Omen 15, which offers us G-Sync, and Thunderbolt 3, which Scar is missing. The real advantage of Omen is price. You can get the RTX 2060 model for under $1,300 which is surprisingly low price compared to Scar II with similar specs, especially that Omen is not that far behind in terms of quality and features. It has an interesting design, excellent 144Hz display, plus few other options including 240Hz, and wide range of configurations from budget ones with GTX 1050 to high-end with RTX 2070 Max-Q. For the weak sides of Omen we can include higher temperatures and lack of control over the fans. Alright, have you chosen your laptop already? If you found this video helpful, you can consider to order it on Amazon via one of the links that I left in the description to support my channel. I might earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, so I can afford more laptops for future reviews. That's all for today, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in comments. I answer every question. If you're new to the channel, it would be awesome if you consider subscribing Tech Finds. On my channel you can find detailed laptop reviews, laptop comparisons and more. Now thanks for your time and see you in the next video.